Hi ladies and gentlemen, Morino Ravenberg here again. This video that I'm going to make, the topic regarding this video is going to be the difference between angels and demons, or celestial and infernal spirits, in terms of workings and side effects in one's work as an operator or as a magician. I have covered this topic either partially or just for 3/4 in my or at the very least made mentions of the differences in past videos, but this video is more for people that want things laid out for them. And my mind fell on that, so I just thought to myself that to record a video in which I'll just lay it bare, okay? The difference, so that hence the title of this video, okay? What's the difference between angels and demons, okay? Generally speaking, we're going to start with demons first. With demons, working with demons will yield negative side effects in general. Society and overall, let's just say the occult community, is all about demons. Okay, the most popular spirits that you'll find are on spirits that are labeled demons, regardless of whether they really are infernal spirits or not. And you know, people just think that demons are cool. Basically, angels are boring and they're not with it, and demons are cool. Hence, you having some black magicians. I won't make any mentions. I won't call any names. I won't list any names. I mean, but hence some black magicians. Hence, black magic as a whole being more popular within the occult mainstream, if you will. The majority of people that have an interest in the occult gravitate more towards demons than angels, and I have no idea why. Despite the fact that I myself, have an interest in my beginning years, I had an interest in infernal spirits, but that's more because I am simply a chthonic kind of. I've already discussed this regarding my personality. I feel more drawn towards destructive spirits, okay, or more towards aggressive, destructive spirits. Hence my patron and so on. But I never thought for a second that, you know, angels were weak and demons were strong, and that or anything like that. These are all stupid notions that only someone that doesn't have a single shred of experience as a magician or knowledge as an occultist, someone that has not even remotely communicated with spirits or has any experience in dealing with them for their own benefit, only someone like that will make these kind of statements or will think something like that. It's just stupid. It's an immature occult notion or way of thinking. In any case, in my experience, okay, I have worked with both of them and I vastly prefer angels. I love angels. Almost for every project, I want to work with an angel because, again, here it comes. I'm going to start with angels first since the conversation steered that way. Angels are reliable. They want the best for you. Okay, they have your best interest at heart in general. Okay, I'm not saying that there aren't any evil angels out there, but generally speaking, angels like the archangels and so on, they want the best for you, okay? If you approach them and you're sincere and honest in what you want, they'll guide you towards the right path, especially in the long term, and their work won't yield any negative side effects, okay? If it does have any negative side effects, they'll either tell you beforehand to simply brace yourself because it's absolutely necessary or something similar. But generally speaking, it won't have any side effects because, again, they're like a helpful parent, someone that loves you and someone that wants to take care of you and cherish you and see to your well-being. That's what angels are like, and there are little to no drawbacks. With demons, okay, I won't say that it's the exact opposite. Now, okay, for demons, working with any spirit in general, if you work with a spirit, they see you as their source of income, to put it that way. In a metaphorical sense, not literally, okay? For them, it's all about self-ascension by working with lower entities like us. You know, despite the fact that we're beneath them, we're vastly beneath them, more or less. They still enjoy it. They still are willing to help us because it helps them, okay? Helping us gets them more experience and makes them stronger and more divine, if you want to put it that way. With demons, with infernal spirits, okay, you're like their source of income, okay, so they also want the best for you. It's not like they don't care about you, they want the best for you, but they're not going to compromise or give up who they are in terms of character traits and so on. Now, and generally speaking, working with demons will yield drawbacks. Okay, there's a catch to working with demons. If he gives you something, something else will be taken in return. Again, I can simply list examples. Clonic is an example of what I work of a demon that I work with extensively. Clonic saw to it that I got a better job with a much better and higher paying salary and better working circumstances. But the drawback is that he simply caused me to work overtime non-stop, almost to the point where I mentally burned out, and he simply made me lose jobs. I had to change employments and jobs frequently on a regular basis. I couldn't hold on. He made it so that I couldn't hold on to a job for more than 2 months, literally. That's an example. Another example is the infernal spirit that falls under Azazel, called Salasash. Okay, Salasash is good for if you want money in the short term. If you need money ASAP, Salasash can help you. He's the strongest one that I know that can do so, or the most adept one that I can do so. He'll get your money in a week or less than a week even, generally speaking. The drawback of working with Salasash is that he's not suited for the long term. You can work with him for the long term, but he is going to go an experimental way, okay, and it will cause problems. I've experienced this. So again, he's not suited for the long term. This is an example. See what I mean? There's a catch. What other examples can I give? There are little to no other examples that I can give, but it's okay. 2 examples are enough. My point is clear. With angels, there are no drawbacks. Working with my patron, my beloved Lord Samael, okay, there are no drawbacks. No drawbacks in the way of side effects or anything like that. No, I got everything that I wanted and even more so. And our agreement is clear, and there's just nothing else that I can say. There are no drawbacks. So with my vice patron, my beloved Vice Lord Sandalphon, it's the same deal. There are no drawbacks. There is nothing. Okay, it's all good news, more or less. Especially in the long term, there is no stagnation in terms of momentum or feeling lost or anything or stranded. No. Everything happens at a clear growth curve, or there's a clear learning curve. Okay, if they can't go any further because your circumstances and conditions don't allow that, then they will. You will notice that. They don't have to tell you. You will notice that. But again, they're not at fault if that is the case. Okay, if you've reached your limit, then you've reached your limit. But it's all good news with them, and I can't think of a single time where I worked with an angel that when it yielded bad news or when there was a side effect or a catch. No. And again, even in the long term, okay, year in, year out can pass by, years can pass by, we can go year in and year out, and things will keep getting better, okay, where you didn't see it possible, okay. And that is the beauty of angels. In reality, again, only someone who believes in mainstream media, in what the mainstream media portrays that demons are incredibly powerful and that they'll gain you wealth and all of that, will only someone like that will believe all of this nonsense. But in reality, any real practitioner knows that angels are the strongest ones, and it's not all about power, like I said in a previous video called by that same title or header. Angels are just by far the better ones. Okay, angels are the one ruling over demons. And in any case, that is the difference between work when it comes to working with angels and demons, and specifically infernal and, or generally speaking, infernal and celestial spirits. Okay, or better said, celestials and infernals. What it's like working with them, and which one is more preferable. That is point 1. Okay, but in case you haven't noticed, okay, you've seen for yourself, okay, just going by, I don't know, online lookup trends. If you were to see how many people look up angels and how many people look up demons, you can clearly see the difference, okay. People look up demons a lot more than they look up angels. I mean, the very fact that I have infernal spirits that are at the absolute top of my most watched videos on my YouTube channel says enough. and spirits, angelic spirits, okay, my patron and my vice patron, they're also not doing bad, but nowhere near as good as, for example, Klonak and Zippar and all of that. Again, a lot of people look up these kinds of things. I don't need to say why, I already mentioned the reason. In any case, that is point one. That's one topic that I want to cover, and while I'm at it, I'm also going to cover another topic, which is that, I don't know, maybe the immature and idiotic notion that that there was a war in heaven and all of that. Let me make this clear, okay? God is almighty, God is omnipotent. That's the definition. For people that don't know what the definition is of these phrases, omnipotent and almighty, go look it up. I don't want to be rude, but go look it up. But because almighty simply means that nothing or no one opposes you. You're almighty, okay? You rule, period. That is the case with God, okay? God is beyond our comprehension, and that will always be the case unless He allows that to be otherwise. But generally speaking, again, God is omnipotent, so there was no war in heaven. There are no infernal spirits or Satan opposing. There is no Satan opposing God that poses a threat to God or to God's throne or anything like that. We are all nothing but puppets, including angelic beings as well as infernal beings. We're literally nothing but puppets, and God is the one pulling the strings, so to speak. There is no such thing as a war in heaven or anything like that, okay? When the so-called war in heaven, quote unquote war in heaven broke out, it's simply God relieving heaven of a third of its angels, as far as I know. Okay, similar to a company, similar to the owners of a company or the owner of a company relieving 1/3 of all employees, and that includes, team leaders, supervisors, CEOs, you name it. That's my example. That's my point. Okay, that's an example that I can give. And that includes, high ranking. When 1/3 of heaven was relieved, and basically 1/3 of all angelic spirits, all angels were thrown out, and they became infernal spirits, then all that included a bunch of high ranking ones, including Abaddon and Lucifer and all of that. These are examples that I can give, okay? These were high ranking spirits. These were high ranking celestial deities. And then they simply, Azazel was also one of them, and then they were just thrown out of heaven, to put it that way. But there was no war, nor will there ever be a war, okay? God is almighty, He will always be almighty. And everything that happens, is good or bad, is simply an act of God. Whether you want to believe that or not, these are facts. You can either choose to dislike it or anything like that. I already have a video called Free Will and so on. And people, again, I'm going to say it again, there is no such thing as free will. The people that refuse to believe so are simply people that are sticking their head in the sand, similar to an ostrich. They're trying to hide themselves from reality. There is no such thing as free will. If there was free will, then you wouldn't have a God ruling over you. There is no such thing as free will. But I'm not going to go into all of that. If you want to know about free will, then watch that video called Free Will and so on. But again, that is not the case. Okay, there is no war in heaven. There is no infernal kingdom that is threatening God. No. Okay, everything in existence is simply in existence because God allows that to be. If God wanted all demons destroyed, God could do it without even blinking, so to speak. The same goes for heaven. The same goes for everything in existence. Okay, let that be clear. So again, there is no war in heaven, there is no this, there is no that, no. If God is responsible for everything, the good as well as the bad, okay? All suffering, everything, hell, everything, God is responsible for all of that, period. So there was never any war in heaven, okay? It was all part of God's master plan to relieve 1/3 of heaven from its heavenly hosts, okay? Like I just gave in the example, He just said, 1/3 of heaven, boom, is going to be cut off, and we're either going to dunk you in hell if it already existed, or we're going to create hell, and you guys will rule over that portion because I allow it to be. That is the case. That is the reality. That is the fact of the matter. So again, there was no war in heaven. There is no infernal dynasty or infernal kingdom that poses any threat to God. Nothing or no one opposes God, nor will it ever. Only unless God allows that to be the case, and fat chance, I don't see that happening. But again, this is all just an argument, not an argument, but this is all just these are facts. But like I just said, to keep in mind, okay, God is way beyond our level of comprehension. Us trying to understand God is like literally like an ant trying to understand how human civilization work, or how civilizations, mankind's civilizations have worked or work and operate. It is we will never understand God, because God lies outside the box. He lies outside our level of perception, and we're simply not developed enough to understand God. But that is it in any case, right?